Hi there, this is Josh from Literary Gladiators, and today I'm here with a book review. And in particular, I will be reviewing a play. I was perusing on websites that sell plays. I've pretty much developed a huge liking for Dramatist Play Service and Samuel French. And I'm also eyeing in on some of the anthologies that I've come across. I came across play scripts, and while I really didn't go heavy-handed there was one play that I just could not pass up. And that is 45 Plays for 45 Presidents. And there are plays written by Andy Bayiates, Sean Benjamin, Genevra Gallo-Bayiates, Chloe Johnston, and Karen Weinberg. Each of them, they each took on so many plays, and they are one-act plays about each president, which includes both of Grover Cleveland's non-consecutive terms, and there are also plays in here for John McCain, Mitt Romney, and Hillary Clinton. And the five playwrights that put this together did a lot of background research. That was primarily their driving force to this, because they weren't experts in the area. They relied a lot on that in putting this together, and different ideas they were very experimental. For instance, but it also reflected something within their presidency. There was, for instance, George Washington's had to do with almost the creation of God creating Earth, where George Washington is foreseen in that way, and it reflects the things that he did during the foundation that he set up for the country, and how he was independent and only wanted and felt the president should only serve 2 terms. There were things like Martin Van Buren constantly being pushed around by Andrew Jackson as president. There was, in many cases, the president really didn't even appear. For Millard Fillmore, they just were reciting random facts about him. And in a very unique way. There was, with Thomas Jefferson, it was in the form of a roast. With both Andrew and Lyndon B. Johnson, it was in the form of a monologue. There was Chester Arthur's was interesting in how it was almost as if it was a job interview, and they had somebody from the audience take on the role of Chester Arthur. And then you had, with Kennedy, it was another audience participation pertaining to where were you at the time of the JFK assassination, and they had an alteration if for some reason nobody in the audience was alive during that time. And overall, my opinion of this piece is very, very mixed. Because, yes, there was a great deal. I think that they did a great job making the information about the presidents accessible, especially the lesser known, and especially the vaguer issues. You could recognize a particular term, but this gave a clear understanding of what it had meant. But at the same time, there was some information. There were some it was very cartoonish, which I've noticed that in a lot of plays, and it had a great deal of abrasive impression to it. I think that the way that they portrayed William Howard Taft as being a baby, it was just I thought they went. I think that the general idea was there, but it went a little. It was very. It was. I think in a way it was meant to be overboard, but then when he gets his wish to be the Supreme Court Justice, they could have put two and two together. I think it would have been. I think that the way that they portrayed Harding and the way that Taft got into the Supreme Court, they missed that connection that could have made it all the better. I think a lot of it reflected modern day Saturday Night Live takes on the presidential debates, where, for instance, they, instead of talking about something that Ben Carson believes in, they decide to have Ben Carson talk about how he's always looking tired and how he's not really falling asleep. It just sounds like he's falling asleep, but yet in the debate he has these eyes painted on his lids so that he in fact is taking the time to fall asleep. And I think that this book does its best to remain objective, but I think in many of cases the playwrights do put a bit of a political slant to this. I think that it is pretty much, they're very favorable toward people like Carter, and I know that the woman said, Weinberg said straight out that she was not a fan of Monroe, and she incorporates that within the play, but I think that it's interesting. I think that these are interesting aspects that they take, but they also need to, I think that it would also benefit that if they alternated who wrote the plays, and I think that this can be done in so many different, I think that they can rewrite this and concentrate on another aspect of the president, or just with different tweaks or from a different lens. Another thing is that they seem to lean on the research a lot, where the presidents were somewhat out of character. For instance, the way that they portrayed Rutherford B. Hayes, I don't really see that as being... They were concentrating on a particular aspect, but I think it took away from his actual personality. But at the same time, the way that they did Wilson was, I think it was spot on. I think that he would do. I think that if you take the character and blow it out of proportion, I think that's exactly how he would be. So it's very. I think that this play is very mixed and scattery. I think that it has its benefits. I feel that there were moments where I thought, "Oh my goodness," but it really did make a delivery. And I think that this is going to be a book that I remember for quite some time. And also, to make note, there was an incorrect detail about, it said the U.S. declared war on Germany and Italy. It was vice versa, where the U.S. did declare war on Japan, but in turn, Germany and Italy declared war on us. The dates are correct, but that is, I think that's something that really needs to be looked at. I'm very much a stickler when it comes to particular details. I know that I read a biography about Herbert Hoover, and while I didn't see as many general technicalities. I know that there were they had to abridge things, but I know with the Herbert Hoover in the White House, which I'm going to be discussing in a March discussion, there were a lot of there were some major incorrect details. Aside from, that's probably the only one that was really a major one, was the detail about the U.S. declaring war on Germany and Italy when, in actuality, they declared war on us. But I gave this a 3 out of 5 because I think that this does serve its purpose, but it is really, and I think that I think that it was just really, I think it was very creative the way that they did this, but I think that there were a lot of oddities that and things that could have been done a bit better. And there was also, I think you could also tell that they were leaning heavily on the research, and that there were some slants here and there. You can find this on playscripts.org, and I would be interested in watching this just because of my enthusiasm. And I think that I would benefit from watching it and get more out of the experience. But thank you for tuning into this video. I hope you check out some more videos from our channel. If you like what you see, give us a like. If you want to talk about this a bit more, feel free to leave a comment, and I will be happy to engage in a conversation with you. And if you like this and anything else that you have found or watched on the channel, I encourage you to subscribe for more. Thank you, and for now, keep reading.